Okay, hi, Heroes fans and viewers and watchers of our channel and the Heroes Hardware.ing and the Hungarian fan page of Heroes series. Here is again a great composer of the world and the video games world and history, Paul Romero, the composer of the Heroes of Might and Magic franchise and other games as well, and other own musics too. Hi.
Hey, hi everybody. Thank you for listening or watching.
And I thank you for the participation and the exception. Okay, let's do the questions. I have 15. not so many because sometimes there are short questions too. But let's start. Firstly, I want to talk about the beginning of the creating process of Heroes 7, when you and how you decide about the return with Rob King and Karin, and Ubisoft asked you first, or you asked them for the return. Maybe you know that sometimes there will become another part of the Heroes franchise.
Julian Burrow sent me and Rob a letter and said, the 20th anniversary of Heroes is coming. Would you, we would like you to create the main themes and town themes. So I said, sure. I would love to. I love to compose, and I love Heroes. And Rob, the one thing Rob asked, he said, what kind of music do you want us to do? And they said, anything you want. So we said, okay, we're going to do it then, because from a composer point of view and a producer point of view, to have freedom to do whatever you like, it's fantastic. Because most time from a composer, the company is watching everything you do. They say, we don't like that. We want you to do something more like this. And so then you have to change your idea of music to suit the company. But in this case, Ubisoft and Julian, they said, okay, just do whatever you like, do what you think is good, and they just left us alone for a few months, and then we gave them the music, and they didn't touch it, so it's just great. Like it's really great for us to have complete expression of how we like music and how we want to create music. So yeah, so that's how that happened. So it's all because of Julian Burrow.
He was a fan of the Hero series, maybe 3 and 5 the most. And now he is the maker of one, so it's really quite
I didn't know that. I met Julian a 3 years ago in Paris, and I knew that he was the one who was working with me and Rob for Heroes 6. I didn't know that he also was a fan. He used to play the game when he was young, and that was nice. That's kind of it's a neat thing for me to have a boss that is started off as a fan, and now he's in a position that he could be your boss. It's kind of like a family. You know what I mean? Where the child becomes the parent.
Yeah, and almost like the almost like a car driver who sees every kind of races in the world, and 10 years later he will be one of the driver of the NASCAR or Formula 1.
Exactly.
Almost
absolutely. For me, when I was a little kid, I grew up in a small city in California. My dream was, I really wanted to go to Europe. Europe was like this magical place. It was, to me, it was as magical as, let's say, going to the moon or going to Mars. Like Europe. No, I didn't know anybody who went to Europe. And because of music, now, I feel like Europe is almost a second home. I feel very comfortable there, but it's because of music that's nice that
it ties together.
Something that's so exotic to you as a child becomes your reality as an adult. So
It's quite
So yeah,
quite a
that's
spectacle
that's
and beautiful thing.
I love Julian. I love Julian, and I'm so happy that he asked us to come back and do Hero 7.
Yeah, glad to hear that. And how did you creating the unique kind of mood of the music of Heroes 7? Why did you choose for the return of the operatic voices and style? Maybe the style of Heroes 2 and 4? Maybe I don't know, but it's I
You know,
presume.
that's a good question. So the return of an operatic style was, we've always loved doing that kind of music. The problem is Karine, because Karine is a well-known opera singer, and she's always traveling. And so sometimes when we get a job, we'll say, "Oh, this has to be finished in 2 months." But the problem is Karine is gone. She's not coming back to Los Angeles for 6 months, so we can't even. There is no opportunity to write for her. So sometimes it's about location. So this year she happened to be in California for like 2 weeks, and so it's like, oh my God, we're gonna do Hero 7. Please, can you make a few days and come to the studio? So she said, great. So it's usually because of that. It's because of scheduling, not because we don't.
And by accident, almost by accident.
I would love to have everything to be opera. Really, I love the human voice. It's so emotional, and so, especially her voice. It's so beautiful. So it's always been about scheduling. So that's why we were very lucky that she was in California and she was able to do it.
It's quite good. and why you choose that style? You wanted to do another operatic epic style, or why you choose that? I really like that, but sometimes other styles prefers in every Heroes game a little bit different.
Actually, on this Hero 7, so Julian said, do whatever you want. So Rob thought, okay, why don't we do, let's say, three of the tunes that have Karine's voice, so the elements of opera, but it's not too much opera. She doesn't sing from beginning all the way to the end. She might sing like in the middle, she might sing at the very end, she might sing a little bit at the beginning. So it's not too much. It's it's a little bit of operatic flavor, but it's not a full opera. So that was good. So then we also wanted to do something that was, I'm a big fan of Matthew Bellamy of Muse. And so I thought Matthew Bellamy he's a great pianist, of course, and a great singer and a composer, but he always incorporates piano playing into a lot of his songs. And the piano playing is sort of in a classical style, like it sounds like Rachmaninoff, or kind of in that Russian late 19th century, early 20th century romantic style. So I thought, let's try to do that this time too. So one of the pieces in the soundtrack is a piano concerto, and we call it Piano Concerto in Ahab minor because my friend Ahab Bellamy he lives both in Dubai, in United Emirates, in Dubai, and sometimes he goes back and forth between there and Iraq, and so he's a big fan of Muse, and he was always sending me music of Matthew Bellamy, and I go, you know what? If Matthew can do it on his music, I should try to do the same thing where I play the piano like a lot. So this one song just sounds like a piano concerto, and it's me doing the whole solo, and we call it Concerto in Ahab minor because Ahab, my friend, was the one who kind of inspired that idea.
Oh,
So
I wanted to know about that because I saw the team and heard it, but I don't know what it from comes. So what come the inspiration?
The thing is, but the other part of my job, I am always doing piano concerts, and one of my favorite composers to play is Rachmaninoff. So like, why not do something as as a tribute to Rachmaninoff?
It's a little bit similar to him.
Yeah, but it's me playing the piano,
to his work.
and it's because of Ahab giving me the idea. So that's why Concerto for a Hero in Ahab minor. Ahab minor is not even a real key. It's just it's just a name, you know. But I thought that's a good name. And
He
then we
must
have
be
another
happy about
piece.
it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He must be happy about it. About the
Yeah,
name. Yeah.
actually, you know what? Ahab and I know each other because he is designing my website. I've never
I
had a
didn't know that.
website before. He designs websites, and so him and I are working together to create one so that I can I can talk to people who like my music. I can talk to them directly through my website and not to Facebook or emails and stuff like that. We can just go right through the website, and this way the website will like tell people if I'm doing a concert someplace or if there's a new soundtrack. It just gives all the information about what I'm doing musically, not personally, but like musically. So he's the one who's helping me put that together, and that's how Ahab and I know each other.
That's quite,
But I was going to say, the other thing is, one of the pieces that we did is it's called I'm sorry, I think it's called the Elvin's Coronation. Yeah, Elvin Coronation. I also I love I have a lot of friends from the Middle East. I have friends from like Bulgaria, Armenia, from Greece, from Iraq, from Turkey, and so a lot of them send me music, and my ear is becoming a little bit more exotic in terms of I'm realizing there's a lot of different sounds in the world, not just European like Rachmaninoff sounds or Chopin or John Williams, America, or whatever.
Really different styles, different
exactly,
music,
exactly.
sounds.
So what I wanted to do for this one of the pieces was to incorporate kind of an Arabic vibe for one of the pieces, and we use like a Turkish clarinet, and so that is one of the great things about Julian. Julian's like, if you want to go a little bit Arabic, go for it. If you want to go a little bit Russian romantic 19th century, go for it. You want to do a little Baroque style, go for it. So
different instruments,
yeah. So in this soundtrack, we literally try to touch a little bit on Arabic style music, Russian 19th century, a little bit of 20th century like Gustav Holst, John Williams. Actually, there's also a piece for solo cello called the Wizard's Waltz, and that was inspired by 7 Years in Tibet with Yo-Yo Ma and John Williams. So we got to do a lot of different.
It's a really good mix of a mixture of the cultural instruments and music, also very many culture.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And so I think as I get older, it's nice the
vibration of the music.
I try to observe the world, like musically, even music from Vietnam, music from Mongolia, music from Aztec music.
You get the word together, keep the word together, and with the music.
Exactly, kind of come together and just you expand your mind as you get older. So I think in this soundtrack,
global fun, global music. It's
a
really global music.
Exactly. So I think that's why I said, like, I really appreciated Julian saying just do whatever you want, even if it goes from here to there. There's a lot of different stuff. Anyway, so yeah.
Okay. Next question. Tell me something about the wonderful, you said too, and I think to the wonderful talented opera singer lady Karin Mushagan. When you have worked together, since when exact date, and how your collaboration worked generally, how did you find her in the past for the Heroes series, what was like working with her generally, why did you collaborate now again, but you said about that too, yeah.
So about 20 years ago, I used to teach piano privately. I had a few students. One of my students was the children of Howard Kazanjian. Howard Kazanjian is the producer of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Howard and George Lucas were college friends in California. And so when George was graduating and becoming a movie producer, Howard was his producer. So the first few movies of George Lucas are always produced by Howard Kazanjian. Anyway, Howard called his wife called me one day, and she wanted me to start teaching her 3 boys. I would go to their they have a beautiful mansion in California. I would go there every week to teach their little boys, and one day their cousin was there. She was a teenager, and she goes, "Oh, hi, my name is Corrine. You know, I sing. I want to become an opera singer." Like, "Ah, that's great." So I just started playing the piano for her at Howard's house because she was visiting, and beautiful voice. I think she was only like 14 at the time. Beautiful voice, and wow, yeah, you're really good. So her and I sometimes would perform for Howard's family, like at their parties, anniversaries, and then when Rob King hired me to do, I think Heroes 2, he said, you know, it would be neat to actually maybe put some opera in the soundtrack. Oh, because you know what? Because Rob and I went to the opera together. We went to go see I think Placido Domingo and the Los Angeles Opera Company, and Rob really liked the sound. He goes, "Wow, why not? Maybe we should try to do some opera." So I said, I know a teenager, Howard Kazanjian's niece. She's a great singer. She's only like at that time maybe she was like 16. Let me call her and see if she'd do it. So she said yes. And I think she was only in high school at the time. So that was how Corrine and I started, through Howard Kazanjian. She wasn't even in college yet. So then, so then Heroes 3 and 4 came, but we couldn't use her because she was in college. She wasn't even living in California.
She wasn't in Heroes 4. Any opera. I thought
I think she's in Heroes 5. I think she came back to Heroes 5. She was in. We used another lady, Anita Prodich, for some of the. I think maybe Heroes 4. But we couldn't use Corrine because she was in college for 4 years.
She learned. She learned. Yeah, she learned.
So I didn't see her like really rarely for 4 years because she was always living in another place. So then so that's how she started. That's how we met. And now it's funny. Now she's a very well-known singer in America, and she still wants to do Heroes with us.
And she's in many plays, and she may be an actress now too. I saw some pictures.
Well, she acts in the opera, so she travels Europe and she travels all over America, being in operas. So so she's an actress, but she's an opera singer.
Yeah, too.
So it's nice that she will come and do like the Heroes soundtrack, and. I forgot to tell you that each time that we try to do Heroes, we try to do a different language. So this time we decided to do Greek and a little bit of Armenian because Corrine is Armenian. So in some of the stuff that you hear her saying, it's not in Latin or in German or in French. It's always in Greek and a little bit Armenian. So I've never done Greek before.
And how did she learn so many kind of languages, Latin, Greek, Armenian?
Corrine sings in many languages. She sings in. As a matter of fact, I think that in the concert that her and I are going to be doing, she's going to be singing in Dvorak. I think it's Czech. She actually sings in Czech. She sings Bartok, she sings in Hungarian, she sings in Russian, Spanish, French, German, Italian, of course English, and Armenian. So she is very good about switching languages because that's her job.
It's a master talent.
So she just has to listen to the sound of the words, and then she can make a beautiful version.
She can learn fast, and she can hear the differences fast within the quite different languages. Yeah, so it's quite good kind of skill.
That was part of her operatic training in college, is to be able to learn. I mean, because opera comes in so many different languages, so she had to learn most of the main languages. So she has a very good.
She had very practice years, behind her.
Yes. She has good language years. Yeah. But also, speaking in a language is one thing, but to sing in a language because you have to open up the sound for all the vowels, so it really
to express herself really fully. Yeah.
Because you have to sing louder than the whole orchestra. There's no microphones. Her voice has to really open up for a huge concert hall, and louder than
fill
the
the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's.
It must be hard. It's for me to hear it.
Yeah,
but
that's right. So it's one
she can do it.
But then to really sing it out loud it's amazing. Her talent is amazing. I love her to death. I hope that I get to work with her until we're very old people. And you know what's nice too is Corinne and I can listen to music that she did, 18 years ago, and then we can listen to how we sound now, and I can see her voice is getting more and more beautiful as she gets older. It's really becoming like a better instrument.
And she's got quite a scale, no? Scale, a higher or lower scale, everything.
Yeah,
it's quite different.
It's going higher and higher and higher. It's a wonderful thing to have, especially in soundtracks, because you can always go back and listen to something that you did 18 years ago and say, wow, I'm even better now. So it's because nobody wants to get worse. Nobody wants to be going down. You always want to be going up.
Some illness, probably, but I didn't want it to be there. Some illness, but sometimes cold, everything else.
Maybe you should retire.
No. Okay, let's move some exact soundtrack titles from Heroes 7. I heard some, I know some, I don't know how, but some pre-Christmas angels come from Heaven Faction maybe. First, if I know, Mr. Swanton is the first. Can you tell us something about this song? How you compose it, and what instruments did you use for it? What was the goal for it, and what was the purpose? Some samples.
So this piece is kind of inspired by a little bit of Heroes 2. There's a kind of a romanticized Baroque feeling. I wanted it to be almost like Vivaldi or Bach or Handel, but in a more modern feeling. And so instead of the rhythm, actually in this is
it's a great rhythm. Almost
it's just like 5 to 7. Usually most music is like 1 2 3 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. This one is 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3
It's almost
4 5.
like an action movie. It's a really fresh move.
You never find the beat because it's all each time is and then a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. So it goes from 5 to 6 to 7 to 3 to 5. So the combination of kind of a Baroque feeling, but a modern rhythm, these odd rhythm changes, give it a nice vibe of modern and Baroque at the same time. So it was, but the thing is, when I was doing like Heroes 2, every time I did something kind of in the Baroque style, the rhythm never changed. It was always like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It was always like whatever the rhythm started off with, it did the whole song. But this time I definitely wanted to keep changing it. So you can never really feel where the real beat is following because it's very strange. So
it's almost a revolution now with the Heroes 2 style, some revolution.
Exactly. And then
it's a really fresh one.
In the middle, it's Corinne singing.
It's Corinne.
Let's see. This is.
It's quite high and quite good.
kind of like I was thinking of Wagner, a little bit like mostly like Richard Wagner. I wanted it to be sort of like a Germanic operatic feel, coming out of a Baroque feeling. So that's how that piece. Oh, the other element, I almost want a little bit of a tango element where you can almost dance to this piece.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a little bit dance.
people
Yeah.
all these Argentinians dancing like crazy.
And what was the instruments? Yeah, violin or what? What is violins or quite?
The instruments on this are pretty standard. It's just like strings, timpani, woodwinds. There's nothing
special.
Exotic in this. It's a standard Western classical orchestration of this. At the end, near the end, there's some voices maybe from you. It's when the end is beginning after Karim voice, there is some voices, male voices, dun dun dun. On this one, on Mistos?
Yeah, near the end. It's quite really a little bit same in the first volume of the song. Maybe I try to.
Oh wait, are you talking about? Let's see.
It's quite good. Maybe I little bit. Can you? I have the song too. Maybe I can show you.
Oh yeah, show me. Yeah, it might be the other song.
Some like this. And near the end, some male voices. I thought that maybe you. I'm joking.
I don't remember. Let me see. Let's see.
Some surprises from me. Not just after the voice with Curry.
Oh no! Those are. It sounds like a voice, but they're actually string spizzicatos going.
I see.
It's not ended with so much timpani, and it's a good point. No, there are no voices there, even though it does kind of have that sound. But
it's quite.
It's just the spizzicato strings.
It must be quite professional instruments and professional musicians. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably has that feeling. Sometimes sometimes you can use a combination of sounds and it does sound like people are like
yeah. Almost a rapture.
It's just strings on that one. Yeah.
Yes. And where you conducted it and recorded it in a big, in your studio or a bigger one or a theater?
We had to do this in parts.
I see.
So Karim came in at the very end. All the orchestrations were recorded about 2 months before she came in to record.
I thought after, but
yes. So, and the reason why we do that is because it saves time. Number one, because if she's coming in, she doesn't know the music, and you have the orchestra waiting, you don't want to keep paying them to do it over and over again. So you record them separately, and this way she can come in, she can take all day long if she wants to keep redoing each phrase, and you don't have to keep paying all the whole orchestra to be waiting.
Record it again.
Record this, So we record this separately. You do strings one day, you do percussion another day, you do the like woodwinds, and then you usually put the singer. The singers usually come in last.
I see.
And it just saves time and saves money. Sometimes let's say if you're the LA Philharmonic, they work together all the time, every day, because they're always doing concerts.
They did the orchestra, the LA.
No, they don't work on this one. No, but I'm saying, when you do soundtrack work, usually everybody's coming together and they have not worked together before, so they have to get used to each other, and that takes extra time. That's why you break it into sections. Maybe one day is just percussion, the next day is just maybe 10, 15 string players, the next day
not
is
the whole
maybe
together.
You just keep breaking it, and it saves time and it saves money. So
almost one instrument, one kind of instrument, one kind of another.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
And the second song, I think, the Fortune Keep. Is the name. This song begins with a great, I can say, medieval feelings, and also with children voices. So it's a good idea. And how it was come to your mind? What is made for? What is the purpose?
We needed a song that actually sounded like you're about to go to battle, and you want almost like a battle call or war, like a war call. You know, like in like ancient Roman armies, you got thousands of warriors ready to fight, but somebody has to like blow the horn to start. And that's how
it's a horn begins.
That was the feeling I wanted to do with this. I needed
maybe
to
I
have,
will put it some sample.
Yes, I needed to like call everybody to get everybody's attention to like a Roman horn sound. Yeah, so that's
it's almost before the battle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a friendly one. It is maybe for a battle map or some kind of that.
You know,
or the Mistos. I thought that the Mistos for terrain. This is for battle, but you said that it must be quite different. Ubisoft will know.
I don't know where this is going to be. I just know that
campaign.
When you're doing music, you want to give a feeling, but it also has to be
has to fit.
It can't be too much of one feeling, because if they need to use it for something else,
I see.
Then there has to be kind of what's the word? You have to be able to use it in a different way in case it wasn't used for this purpose. So if it's too hard battle theme and it's not right, then at least you didn't waste the time. They can use it for something else. So I try to give a little bit of a feeling. So maybe it's a victory call. Maybe it's not even a battle call. But so this way I have to make it. It could be a battle. Maybe it could
or
be
after
a
or before. Or in the middle. But
it has to have several possibilities. Yeah. So that's how that happens.
Yeah, and the third one is Hope for Green Falls. This is for the Heaven team. It's we can see in the page for year 7. Really great introduction for the Heaven, I think. What were the instruments used it for, and Karin was in this song, yeah. She made the middle part with her voice, and it is in Greek, yeah.
Yes, this is in Greek, and
there were very much difficult, in this song. It's a really hard song. It's a really good, quite good song.
It's she understood because we did the orchestrations first. We wanted it to have a kind of if you can imagine like a Celtic, like an ancient Celtic feeling, not from like Eastern Europe, but more like maybe what ancient Scotland, Ireland, England. Somewhere up there.
Anglo-Saxons,
Yeah, there's kind of an Irish.
Almost the earlier medieval time, not generalistic and.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought maybe something that maybe would have sounded, in the 12th century. Yeah. Something like that, with these kind of
almost with the.
Fluty
Christian wars and
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So we wanted to be really peaceful and kind of optimistic. Optimistic. Like even if life was awful for you and everything was taken away, you still have a little bit of hope that you can. Rebuild your life again.
The title comes from this.
That's how.
And the Green Falls is maybe a town, or I don't know, but
Yeah, exactly. So that's that's how that.
But
piece.
sometimes feel sad too, a little bit. Maybe,
Exactly. No,
maybe.
that's a good.
Sometimes.
I'm glad that
Sometimes.
it's sort of like
the main is hope. Yeah.
Yeah, you want it to be melancholic
No, yeah.
without being so sad that you want to kill yourself. You know, you wanted it kind of a sad, like a sad but hopeful. You know, there's a kind of a balance you try to make in something like this. So I'm glad that you felt that, because I didn't want it to be too hopeful or too sad. I wanted it to be a combination of both. You know, you're hopefully sad.
Yeah. or hopeful, just a little sad.
Yeah, hopeful, but you're a little depressed at the same time.
And the next song is Requiem for a King, but not for a king. I hope. And this was played, if I remember, just a little part of it in the IGN gameplay trailer. It's quiet, have a really quiet peace mood. It's if I can say so, it's calm us down a little bit, but must have a great sad story behind this melody. I think
this
from
piece,
what can you tell me about this? How you can arrange it? What orchestra parts use it? It's a special instrument, no?
This one is on the model of this piece was the let's see, it was the Adagio from Mahler's Fifth Symphony, and also a little bit of the last four songs of Strauss. We really wanted something that had a feeling of.
It's a little bit more sadder than the previous one.
Yes, no, it is.
Yeah.
It's the balance of making you feel sad, yet the sadness that you're feeling is for something that is very big and heroic. You know, like I wouldn't write something like
sometimes
this.
it's a little bit resembles. I remember it's quite must be strange if I can say so. Sometimes remember for the really calm, peaceful music for the Buddhists. And it's like in Tibet, you know, it's a sad thing, but also calms you down because it carries a good way too, because maybe there is life after life, so you know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and also it's kind of, you know, like let's say you feel sadness if your cat dies or your dog dies. That's a certain kind of thing. But when somebody who was your hero or somebody who was your king or your queen,
everybody loves him or
it has to kind of be a different kind of sadness. And so that was what we were going through. If somebody who had a country that had a beloved king or queen, how would you want the music to feel? So it's different than when you feel sadness for a personal, something in your personal life, something more on a larger scale. So that was the inspiration for this, and also the language. Corinne sings in this.
Corinne sing this.
I'm sorry. No. She's not singing. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the
other song.
Yeah. No. This.
Yeah.
This the orchestrations on this were really almost like Mahler. That was our idea, was Mahler Fifth Symphony, the Adagio, and you call it in classical music, it would be it's not a hyper romantic, because Mahler was sort of neo-romantic, because Mahler was he kind of came out of Wagner, but the romanticism was even more epic.
The post-romantic. Almost.
Yeah. It's actually it's not quite post-romantic, because that would have been maybe like Richard Strauss post-romantic, but it actually sounds post-romantic.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes. So that's I really wanted it to. If anybody likes this piece, go ahead and listen to the Mahler Adagio, and you'll. It's obviously that's the masterpiece that I was trying to
And you know what?
That-
I almost thought that it is a little bit remember me for the all-time classical movies. Sometimes it cannot be also in a movie too. I think almost a movie or a musical
But you know,
soundtrack in
most-
behind. It's a
Most of those great old movies,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
especially in Hollywood,
and many Hungarian composers for that.
yes, they were all escaping Europe and coming
Yeah.
to America to work, and the best place you can work was in Hollywood.
For
Hollywood
guys who
needed a
are
lot of
Hungarian
composers.
composer.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and most of those composers who were trained in Europe, who came to Hollywood, were a lot of them were, I guess, it would be musical descendants in terms of the style of Mahler,
Yeah,
of
maybe.
Strauss, of all these great composers, and so yeah, you know what, Hungarians had a very big
Yeah.
influence on American cinematic movie, So it's cinematic,
With some
cinematic
soundtracks.
music.
Yeah, sound.
Yeah, exactly. Nikos, what's up? Oh, you're
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys must. Isn't that funny? The visuals were like German, because it was all the Germans who brought the technology to
Yeah.
California, but a lot of the great music was Hungarian. So yeah, it's nice.
And drummers.
Zsa Gabor too. They
Yeah.
brought Zsa Gabor.
Yeah.